Hello everyone, Grand Captain Speedy Dash here. Last time on What If Kakarot Was Born a Super Saiyan 4, Kakarot effortlessly defeats Demon King Piccolo, then hears a voice inviting him for potential training. How will Kakarot react to this voice? Find out now. Kakarot asks if anyone else is hearing the voice, but no one is. After a little bit, Kakarot heads off, with Gine hoping that Kakarot isn't hallucinating. Kakarot arrives on the lookout with Mr. Popo stating that to see Kami, Kakarot needs to beat Mr. Popo first. Mr. Popo is able to give Kakarot a bit of a fight, but Kakarot was able to win even with the disadvantage of being unused to the thin air. Kami comes out with Kakarot being surprised and is about to attack Kami thinking he's Piccolo, but Mr. Popo gets in the way long enough for Kami to explain himself. Kakarot is a little confused by it and that Piccolo is still alive, but asks about the training Kami offered. Kami admits that he won't be able to help much, but can pull some strings to allow him to train with an even higher god. But the path to the god is dangerous, and Kakarot will need to continue to train until it's time for the next Tenkaichi Budokai. Kakarot is eager about the training, but isn't sure about leaving his home for that long. Kami begins what little training he can give for Kakarot, while Kakarot decides if he will go through with the other training. Ultimately, Kakarot decides to go through with the other training. Mr. Popo gives Kakarot a bag of senzu before Kami teleports Kakarot to the other world. It takes about a week, but Kakarot arrives on King Kai's planet. King Kai is surprised to see such a strange child on his planet, and after discussing it with King Kai and letting Kakarot phone home, King Kai begins Kakarot's training. Gine is happy that Kakarot wasn't just hallucinating and is safe, especially after not seeing him for a while. After telling Grandpa Gohan, she decides to head off to inform the others that she heard from Kakarot, and that they will see him again during the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. Yamcha is surprised that even with his impossible strength, Kakarot still seeks to get stronger, and gets training by the gods. Master Roshi criticizes Yamcha, stating that one must always try to improve themselves, because there will always be someone stronger. King Kai shortly begins inviting a special guest that Kakarot is familiar with to help Kakarot's training. Bardock is happy to see Kakarot again, with him being ready and willing to help Kakarot reach higher heights of power. Between training sessions, Kakarot tells Bardock his life story, and vice versa. Bardock is happy that Gine has adapted well to life on Earth, and that Kakarot is enjoying his life, though Kakarot isn't the most pleased hearing Bardock's stories of conquering planets. After a while, Bardock takes the training to the next level, with him making an artificial moon and begins the Ozaru training. Ozaru Bardock is proving to be quite a sparring partner, with them both getting quite stronger. Time passes until it's finally time for Kakarot to head home. Kakarot thanks King Kai and Bardock for the training and begins his trip back down Snake Way. As he sees Kakarot leaves, Bardock wonders out loud if Kakarot might become strong enough to finish Frieza, with King Kai hoping so. Bardock says he's ready to be sent back again, but King Kai says that Bardock is allowed to stay, and states that as long as he behaves, he is free to roam around the other world. Master Roshi, Bulma, Gine, and Grandpa Gohan are waiting near the tournament grounds. Gine is surprised that none of the others are here yet, with Master Roshi explaining that they all left to continue their training on their own. Kakarot states he's happy to hear that, which surprises everyone since they didn't notice him approach and were caught off guard with how much Kakarot has grown. While they are catching up, Krillin, Yamcha, Chi-Chi, Tien, and Chatsu arrive. They are all catching up until they have to head to the tournament grounds. The finalists are Kakarot, Chi-Chi, Cyborg Tao, Tien, Krillin, Piccolo, Yamcha, and Chaozu. The first match is Kakarot vs. Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi says she's gonna beat Kakarot this time, and then they will get married, with Kakarot eager for the challenge. Kakarot easily is beating Chi-Chi and knocks her out of the ring, before leaving the ring himself to check on her. Chi-Chi is disappointed in herself, but Kakarot praises how strong she is, and states he wants to marry her. The next match is Cyborg Tao vs. Tien. Tien effortlessly beats Tao and knocks Tao out of the ring, before leaving the ring himself. The next match is Krillin vs. Piccolo. Krillin is at a disadvantage, but forces Piccolo to stay on his toes. Ultimately, Piccolo knocks Krillin out of the ring before leaving the ring himself, but starts second-guessing if he's strong enough for his goal. The next match is Yamcha vs. Chaozu. Yamcha struggles a bit against Chaozu's special powers, but ultimately Chaozu is knocked out of the ring before Yamcha leaves the ring. The first match of the semifinals is Kakarot vs. Tien. Tien is determined to show Kakarot just how much he has grown, with Kakarot eager to see Tien's improvements. Despite Tien's major improvements, Kakarot is still overpowering Tien and knocks him out of the ring, before Kakarot leaves the ring himself. Tien is shocked at just how much strength Kakarot has. The next match of the semifinals is Piccolo vs. Yamcha. Piccolo struggles a bit against Yamcha, but is able to knock Yamcha out of the ring before leaving the ring himself. The final match of the tournament is Kakarot vs. Piccolo. Piccolo states that he will take revenge for what happened to his father before taking over the world, just as his father had tried to do. Kakarot effortlessly beats Piccolo, knocking him out of the ring before leaving the ring himself. Piccolo states he'll be back to take his revenge next time before leaving. Gine is curious at Kakarot letting Piccolo go, with Kakarot explaining that Piccolo is connected to the Dragon Balls. Chi-Chi wants them to head out and get married immediately. Kakarot and Chi-Chi build their home near Grandpa Gohan's house, with Gine most of the time living with Kakarot, but occasionally stays with Grandpa Gohan. Everyone is surprised and Chi-Chi is annoyed with how her baby is a furry little guy. Chi-Chi and Gine are arguing over baby names until the baby chooses his own name as Gohan by gleefully cheering for the name. Grandpa Gohan soon passes away in his sleep, shortly after Gohan's birth. Gohan is more interested in books and studies than fighting, but is pressured by Gine and Kakarot into training some. Chi-Chi does push back and get Gohan to have just as much time studying as training. Time passes until another alien lands on Earth. After leaving the space pod, Raditz checks the scouter with him being in disbelief at the power levels displayed. Raditz decides to check the closest high power levels and heads out. Gohan and Gine are playing some outside when Raditz arrives, being shocked who he sees. Gine quickly recognizes Raditz and rushes in for a hug, with Gohan being confused, asking Grandma who is this. Raditz is confused and turns off his scouter before asking why the hairy child called Gine Grandma. Gine explains to both of them that Gohan is Kakarot's son and that Raditz is Gohan's uncle, with Gohan shyly greeting Uncle Raditz. Kakarot shortly arrives with today's catch and is curious with the sand visitor they have. Gine introduces Kakarot to Raditz, with Raditz surprised how much Gohan's appearance has taken after his father. Kakarot gets down to business and asks why Raditz has come to Earth. Raditz explains that he came to Earth to recruit Kakarot to assist him and the other two Saiyans in conquering a planet. Kakarot states he'll have no part in that, with Gine saying Raditz should abandon the destructive past of the Saiyans. Raditz says they are crazy before flying away. However, Raditz can't help but feel tempted to join them. Kakarot is still a little uneasy with Raditz's visit because of Bardock's stories. Gine thinks that Bardock and Kakarot have changed and hopes that Raditz can as well. After getting back to the space pod, Raditz starts questioning what does he really want. While still unsure, Raditz turns on his scouter to report to Vegeta, just as Vegeta begins talking to Nappa about them heading to Earth and using Gine to repopulate the Saiyan race. Raditz destroys his scouter before returning to Gine. As Raditz returns, he explains what he heard Vegeta and Nappa talking about, which sends shivers down Gine's spine and angers Kakarot. Kakarot quickly asks what side Raditz is on, with Raditz saying that he'll side with family, but he believes they should leave as he doubts they can take Vegeta. Gine states that Kakarot was banished to Earth by Saiyan royalty because they feared Kakarot's strength. Kakarot adds that he has even trained with Bardock some. Raditz is surprised and asks if Bardock is here on Earth as well, but Kakarot states he trained in the afterlife with Bardock for a few years. After hearing this, Raditz begins thinking he might have been right at the start, and that Kakarot and Gine are insane. Bardock begins talking to all of them thanks to King Kai, telling Raditz that they aren't insane. Raditz is shocked to hear Bardock, with King Kai taking over and telling Kakarot and the others that the Saiyans will arrive in about a year. King Kai states he believes that Kakarot is strong enough to beat the Saiyans, but worries that even if they defeat the Saiyans, that it might make them a target for Frieza. Bardock states he has met some strange creatures in the afterlife, including one that has a technique that should allow Kakarot to visit more frequently. King Kai tells Kakarot that he managed to get Kakarot clearance to come again. This is where I'll end the part for now. How will Raditz choosing his family and Kakarot's second trip to King Kai affect future events? Find out next time on What If Kakarot Was Born a Super Saiyan 4. If you enjoy my content, check out my Discord, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are.